Enak juga meeting ya ini.
Buang nih. Buka doang. Ini Bang mau. Bukan nih Bang mau.
Berapa? Nol juga.
Masih banyak. Ada luar tuh aja. Betul, saya gak mau ada saja.
Ini bisa.
Aduh, anak bisa dulu jalan.
Mimi najua kifunga niko na benefit. Unaanza kumwambia wewe kazi baya.
Nani anasema?
Kifunga sitakuwa
Ada chance. Siapa yang baru dia? Ni chance,
angalie.
Mute kwa maisha. Ile nini?
Basi niletee unajua kwa data yangu imejaa.
Mute kwa maisha.
Hiyo avocado inaweza kulika price ile fulani. Yeah. Pesa ya baka kipike wa. Nipigie mzee mara nikiweka kama itaniua kwa no mimi na kipiko mena mingi kwa jana hiyo mzee alikutumia na shilingi ngapi hiyo bebe tu aka kadogo tukapuka chini kama ile brand kabla ndani ndio brand na ule na rangi ile hiyo inakaa je bana aliyokuwa siku mna dana akaongeza bana ile ilikuwa ni na tena alinipa gazeti ningekuwa karatasi nimwambia.
Yeah, good morning all. I've been just taking time to allow you to settle. And the funny thing is that you guys, you never settle. The challenge is that you guys, you never settle. You only keep quiet when you are sleeping.
Ati wanaongozanga yote ni wanalala.
So as we wait for the lecturer, I would like us to just revise what we covered last time. Last time we were going through computer memory. So I would like us just to revise whatever we covered last semester, last week, I mean. So memory, as its name suggests, is a place where we have to store anything, okay? And that's a very essential part of a human being. If you lose your memory, we say that so-and-so has gone nuts, so-and-so has gone berserk, so-and-so is mad, because it's the memory that differentiates us from other animals. It's just the matter of memory. Because we have seen monkeys doing exactly what a human being can do. I've seen dogs, we have seen cats, but after all, they don't suit to be human being because we are differentiated with the memory. So there's a way God created human being in such a memory that any other animal cannot supersede. That's what usually differentiates us. Just like human beings, also computer, we realize they have memory that enables them to remember, enables computer to remember and do things so that we can see the output. Even this Zoom we are using is because of the memory that the computer has. So computer needs to store some data or information, and this data or information is used by computers to control the computer, do the computations. So that's why it's very essential part of a computer system. So in summary, we have realized that memory is very important. Everything that's done, every operation that is done is influenced by memory. Even robotics, they have very big memories. Even the servers that we are accessing, system that we are accessing, they have memory, or they have storage in form of databases, in form of files that controls our computer on how to do. So we have those files, we have those databases, we have those repositories that our computer needs to refer for its proper functionality. We also covered about units which are used to measure computer memory. And maybe I advise you, if you are having this online lesson, it's better for you to have a pen and a piece of paper so that you note down whatever we are covering as a revision, because most of you usually join this online lesson the way someone might think you are watching football. Eh? You should have at least a piece of paper and a pen, note down these particular items that we are measuring, because sometimes you'll be challenged in an exam. You remember these things was mentioned in an online lesson, but you cannot remember very well because of the issues of your memory. So just to assist your memory, have a secondary memory, where a secondary memory is a pen and a piece of paper where you note down whatever we are covering for future reference or for future preview. So apart from having your brains, which is the primary memory, I urge you also to have secondary memory, which is your book, to note down whatever we are covering. So the smallest unit of memory is a bit. Then 8 bits combined together, it forms a byte. And then from that, we have KB, which is 1024 bytes. We have MBs, which is 1024 KBs. We have GB, which is 1024 MBs. Then we have TB, which is 1024 GBs, which is call it as a TB. So these are some of the values that you need to note down. You'll be given a figure in exam. They want you to convert this into a KB, into a MB, into a GB, or into a TB. So that is the conversion table that you're supposed to be referring to when you are converting. Then we have a noble. Maybe through the chat, have you come across the term noble? How many bits make one noble? You can respond through the chat. So we have two classifications. Okay, some books usually refers to 3. We have the primary memory, the secondary memory, and then we have the tertiary memory. the primary memory, which usually refers as the main memory. So these terms are usually used interchangeably: main memory, primary memory, or the internal memory. If you see somewhere, it just means the same, which is usually located on the circuit board. We call it the motherboard. So inside that black box, I guess each one of us, we have seen a computer somewhere. If not a desktop, I think you have seen a laptop. Inside that metallic box, there's a circuitry. If you have ever opened a radio, there's a circuitry inside the computer. That circuitry is called the motherboard. So the CPU is also located on the motherboard, and these primary memories, they're also plugged into the motherboard. And we have realized the functionality of the main memory. So we have the RAM, random access memory. Then we have ROM, which is the read-on memory. And I think up now you should have known the functionalities of these memories and the difference when it comes to their functionality. So the RAM, random access memory, right? It stores the data which the user currently uses, or as we say, it stores the data temporarily in it. So when you power on the computer, okay, all the data that the computer is going to use, all the data that the computer is going to display on the screen, all the controls that's happening now, okay, we have different processes. We have many processes that are running on a computer, because we know that a computer is a multitasking device. So when you open a computer, we have a lot of processes that are running on a computer. And these processes are usually stored temporarily on a RAM. And this processes keeps on running on the CPU with the time slots, maybe milliseconds, very small time frames. And the CPU is meant to allow these processes to run concurrently, okay? Concurrently in such a way that the computer is able to multitask. The computer is able to allow the processes, okay? Like we have processes that control the keyboard, we have the processes that monitor the mouse, we have the processes that controls the display, we have the processes that controls those applications that you are running on your screen, we have processes that control the speakers, the microphone. You see, we have a lot of processes that are running on a computer, and it needs RAM that stores this data, and this data are fetched by the control unit and fed to the CPU to be processed. So we shall be able to learn about these multi-processes, multi-programming, concurrency later, as we realize how powerful a computer is. So we have the RAM, as you have seen on the display. For the RAM to keep its content, it needs to be powered on. So the RAM, for a RAM to operate, it needs power. So when the computer is turned off, then all the data on the RAM is lost or will be erased automatically. That is how a RAM operates. For more information, we have the notes on the e-learning portal. You can have a look at it. Then we realize that RAM can be divided into two. We have static RAM, as the name suggests, static. The memory turns its constants along the power is supplied. So that's why we call it, say that it's volatile in nature. Volatile means that the content can only be retained when there's power, but when there's power failure, that's when you shut down a computer, then you power on all the applications, all the items that were running have been closed or have been lost. That's why we call it, it is volatile in nature. So static RAM does not need to be refreshed periodically. That's why it's called static. It does not need refreshment. And we have said that it's more expensive than dynamic. Dynamic RAM, on the other hand, it contains data only when electricity is available. Difference between SRAM and DRAM is that DRAM needs to be refreshed. Okay? DRAM needs to be refreshed periodically. So it's much slower than static. So most general PCs usually use dynamic RAM because it's cheaper compared to the other SRAM. So that's the difference between DRAM and SRAM. Unajua itakuja kwa exam, differentiate between DRAM and SRAM. Na nyinyi wa mna join to each class as if you are watching football, you don't take notes. It will be so, it will be, utakuwa unasabua mabati kwa exam room. Umaenda kwa exam room alafu exam inakuwa ngumu mpaka unaanza kuhesabu ceiling. Unajua kwa hii room kuna mabati 24. So if you join this online lesson without taking notes, itakuramba. Haya, then we move to ROM, read-only memory. We move to ROM, read-only memory. So read-only memory, it means you can only read the content, but cannot write back. If I can differentiate between RAM and ROM, read only. It can only read the data which is stored in it, and it's mainly used by a computer when we just turn on. It contains BIOS. BIOS. I will note down the word BIOS. If you have a pen and a book, write down the word BIOS. And because we are going to define what's BIOS. BIOS is an acronym. It stands for, let me go through the chat. I don't know if these guys are following me. Okay. Oh, sawa. Thank you, Fabian, Nikita. I'm getting your responses. Unajua maybe naweza nikakuwa najiongelesha. So someone is asking, anyone from Butula? Owera Lawrence, how about that? Me, I come from Butula. So include me in your plan. Include me in your plan if you are asking people from Butula to DM you. Okay, so thank you. I have got your feedback, guys. And you know, e-learning is more enjoyable. Some of you are attending this lesson from your mattresses, inside your blankets. And if you are inside your blanket, take a pen and a piece of paper. Write down the word BIOS. Ukienda ushago waambie watu najua hii simu yangu iko na BIOS ya 5TB. I have just acquired a laptop, and my laptop has latest BIOS version. So these are some of the of the terms you'll be flossing around on December. So BIOS stands for Basic Input and Output System. Okay, Basic Input and Output System. That's the definition of the word BIOS. If your phone is Samsung, like me, I use Samsung. Okay, so it means that if your phone to be Samsung, it should have Samsung BIOS. If your phone is Itel, it should have Itel BIOS. Because you see the interface of Itel, the interface of Samsung, the interface of Huawei, the interface of Tecno, the interface of, I don't know, those funny phones, they are not the same because they are differentiated by the BIOS. The way you use Samsung, okay, may not be the same how Nokia operates because their BIOS are different. We say that ROM. So what are BIOS? Maybe let me not go away from the word BIOS. BIOS, these are piece of instructions, or it's a software that comes with your computer. I'm assuming that your phone is also a computer. So when you buy a computer, there's a software that the manufacturer has programmed that computer. Okay. We have different types of computers. That's the models. Okay. We have HP, Samsung, Lenovo, ThinkBook, Dell, MacBook. Okay. So those phones or those laptops, I don't know why do people, we have some people that just like HP. If it's not a HP, cannot get that computer. We have people who like Dell, we have those who like Samsung, have those who need maybe Lenovo. We have those that maybe like, yeah, those different types of computers. And you realize that these computers have different BIOS versions. So BIOS usually instruct a computer on how it operates. If you are powering a computer, you see if it's a HP, okay? Yeah, yes. Even TVs have BIOS. Even TVs, ukifungua TV yako kama ni ya Samsung, alafu inakuletea jina ingine, it means hiyo ni ya Riverroad. Okay? Kama if you have Hisense, it will display Hisense there. If it is a Samsung, display Samsung there. If it is a TCL, you see, those are some of instructions that takes over when you are powering on a computer. So when you are powering on a computer, there's a software that usually loads. Okay, if I can use the term booting, if a computer is booting, okay, if a computer is booting, if a computer is powering on, first of all, it usually loads BIOS. Then the BIOS usually checks if the computer has enough capability of working, okay? So sometimes when the computer is powering on, the BIOS usually checks the computer status. If the computer status is okay, then the BIOS hands over to the operating system. Okay, we will just go slow with this until we understand BIOS and operating system or the system software. Although our next chapter, we are going to have a discussion about computer software, and BIOS has a close contact with the computer software. So computer software, we have different types of computer software. We have the system software, which is the operating system. Like your smartphones, what's the operating system? Android, isn't it? When you're buying a smartphone, you go for Android. Android is the operating system that it's controlling your phone. If you are using an iPhone, okay, an iPhone comes with the Apple operating system. Also, MacBooks usually comes with their own operating system. So we have those operating systems that controls how a computer works. So when you press the power button, when the computer is powering on, the first thing to load is the BIOS. So the BIOS checks if your computer has a mouse, if your computer has RAM, if your computer has a hard disk, if your computer has keyboard, if your computer can work, then it now tells the operating system, please take over. Everything is okay. So if your computer is powering on and then it's faulty, the BIOS is not seeing the RAM, the BIOS is not seeing the operating system, the BIOS is not seeing the keyboard, the BIOS is not seeing the mouse. You see, the BIOS will give you a warning. So the computer will even beep to produce some beeping sound. Those sounds that they usually produce when a lorry is reversing. So it will give you some beeping sound, or maybe it will give you a warning on the screen, or it produce some lights on the keyboard. So that's the function of the BIOS. There are three types of ROM, PROM, EEPROM, and EEPROM. I think you covered this last week. Let me just I think you covered these items last week. And yeah, from programmable, okay? Programmable read-only memory. So programmable read-only memory, it's programmed by the manufacturer, okay? So we have those tools that manufacturer, maybe if you're manufacturing a HP, so he programs the instructions on the ROM and put them in the computer. So you cannot alter programmable read-only memory. Then you have erasable. Erasable means you can erase and reprogram again. Okay? So sometimes you go, especially those who have, we have those guys who have phones. Hizo phones za M-Kopa, isn't it? Unanunua simu ya M-Kopa tu vizuri, mmesikizana na agent wa M-Kopa, utakuwa unalipia. Then unachukua hiyo simu unapeleka kwa fundi, ana flash, ndio, ana flash so that uweze ukailipia. So it means the ROM is erasable. You can erase and program again, right? So you can change the data so that you don't need to pay for it. That is EEPROM. Then we have electrically erasable programmable memory. So this can be erased by introducing electrical charges. So it takes time because you can erase 1 byte at a time by introducing electrical charges. Let us have a look at secondary memory. So what's the difference between RAM and what's the difference between primary memory and secondary memory? We have said that primary memory usually stores instructions or those pieces of data information that are being processed by the computer. So they don't store data permanent. That is the RAM. But ROM, we have said that it stores the instructions that now directs how a computer functions when it is booting. Unlike primary memory. Secondary memory usually stores data permanently on a computer. So we store data that we might need later. Okay. So when you install a software on your computer, you are going to use that software later. It is stored on the secondary memory. So it is a non-volatile. Non-volatile means that when there's no power, your data is safe. You can retrieve it later when you are powering on the computer systems. So you can access data from secondary memory, sequential or direct. Sequential means we say that I think last lesson when you were discussing about magnetic tapes and magnetic disk, we say that in sequential, you need to search data one by one. Okay, if it is a song number 4, you need to move from song number 1, song number 2, 3, forward. You forward and rewind. Okay, you forward and rewind. You forward and rewind until you access that piece of data that you want. That's sequential. Then direct. This now happens when it comes to digital media. The computer does not need to fetch, does not need to search. So these are table that a computer has and refers to data location directly without following any order. Example of direct access, we have the magnetic disks, optical disks, okay? These are tables that a computer uses to fetch data when accessing or when reading a particular type. But magnetic tapes, you need to forward, rewind. If you can even use a pen to know where that particular data is stored. Yes, this magnetic tape, I think we covered this last lesson. I don't know Gen Z. I don't know if Gen Z have come across this. Don't know if Gen Z has come across this. Gen Z ni watu wa ma flash disk, Gen Z watu wa ma DVD. So inside this thing, there's a spiral tape, plastic in nature. Kama umaitwa kamba ya gunia. Enda tu kwa gunia alafu tuweka kauzi kamoja. Ndani kuna kauzi. Kuna kauzi hapo ndani that's magnetic in nature. It's used to store music and movie. So you access data sequentially. You move, you forward. Okay, we used to have those radio cassettes, okay? Radio makasita, people have realized radio makasita, makanane. Nachukua speaker unaifungia kwa mtungi, keja ni ngoma peke yake, then unaweka hii compact ya Marumbini, Rose Muhando, especially in December. When life was good. Then you play your music 24/7. There's a guy who used to connect solar, used to get batteries. And then you play the entire day music. There's magnetic tape. Then you have the magnetic discs. So magnetic disc now it's direct access. So there's a table that you just go and click. You want song number 5, you go and click on that song on a table, then it plays. Okay. So it's also non-volatile. Once data is stored in it, not be able to lose it when the power goes off. So we have hard disks. Hard disks. Don't know. One day I think I will open a computer. I will open a show you these things, huh? Or maybe we can arrange for a demonstration. Then you have floppy disks, also example of magnetic disks. So inside the computer, there's a drive that acts as a secondary memory where you store all your data, even your phone. There's we call it ROM. I don't know. This is a layman's language. We usually call it ROM, but hapa tumesema ROM, it stores data permanently. It stores those programs that are designed by the manufacturer. So I think we need to refresh our definitions. Yeah, we usually say that ukinunua simu unaangalia RAM na ROM. But in our definition tumesema kwa RAM, it stores data temporarily, those instructions that are being operated on a computer. Then we have said that ROM, it stores data, okay, or it stores programs that controls the operation of the computer, and these programs that are programmed and maybe installed by the manufacturer. So you see our definition is changing a bit. So ukienda kununua simu, mtu wa simu anakuambia hii simu iko na RAM ya 4GB, iko na ROM 64GB. You know, when it comes to computing, I think they are doing wrong. Okay, I think there's RAM, then we have secondary storage. Okay, although phones they have that available space where you can store your 4 files, but those instructions that are system software designed by the manufacturer, they are still there. So inside the computer, there's a hard disk. If you are buying a laptop, naangalia hii laptop iko na RAM ya ngapi, hii laptop iko na hard disk ya ngapi, hii computer iko na speed ya ngapi, hii computer iko na screen size gani, hii computer iko na BIOS version gani, hii computer iko na CPU version gani. Okay, don't just go to a shop then you buy a computer with the largest screen you have ever seen. There are some factors that you can consider when you are purchasing a laptop, okay, or a computer. First, you check on the RAM, you check on the size of the hard disks, you check on the speed of the CPU, you check on the BIOS version, and also you check on the version of the CPU. So the speed of the CPU is measured in gigahertz. Angalia CPU iko na gigahertz ngapi? Okay. Because that's now controls or maybe dictates how faster your laptop will be. Usinunue laptop ya screen kubwa, usinunue laptop ya white ama laptop ya green. Check on the RAM, check on the hard disk, check on the CPU, the speed and the version. Okay, kuna kwa i3, kwa i5, okay, kwa i7, kuna generations ya CPUs, kuna 5th generations, kuna 8th generation, kuna 8th generation. So those are some of the factors to be considered when you are purchasing a laptop. So usiende tu ukasema nataka kununua laptop, nataka unipe laptop ya blue. No, don't buy a laptop basing on its appearance. On the RAM, check on the RAM, check on the CPU, check on the hard disk, Yeah, I think we shall be able to know that well. Also, we have the floppy disk. Okay, if you have ever heard about kinanda, wazee kitambo walikuwa wanacheza Mandelu system, unanunua kinanda inakaa kama sahani ya black hivi, wanaweka juu, alafu kuna kakitu kanakimbilia juu. It's also magnetic, so it performs reading and writing of data in it. And earlier generations computers, I don't know, was it second generation or third generation, is the first oldest storage media the generations used. They used to store data on the floppy disks. Then you have the optical. Optical, we say optics, it uses light to read and write. The likes of CDs and DVDs. So it's flat, circular plastic disc coated with magnetic material. They are small in size. We have DVD. The DVD, a typical DVD can store 4.7 GB. Although we have advanced that can store up to 10 GB. But now the flash disks are doing away with the DVDs. So most of the computers usually come with a DVD drive. CD, that's compact disc, stores up to 700 MBs of data. Optical, it means that it can read by laser light. Maybe you shall have a look on how the CDs operate. So you can use a CD to store data, music, movie, software. It can store up to 700 MBs. So that's how, if you see a CD or a DVD, it is very shiny. You see when it's reflecting, right? So reading and write usually takes place when that shining and reflecting takes place inside the player, the DVD player, the DVD reader. So DVD, that's digital versatile discs, can store up to 4.7 GBs. It looks similar to CD, but high storage capacity. So we must have a DVD drive here to use the DVD, or a DVD player. So a DVD player can read CD. We have a DVD read only, then you have a DVD read and write. So I think that is what we have covered about memory. So maswali za memory, computer memory, in a nutshell. In a nutshell, we have covered that. So apart from those two types of memory, we have some memories that are found inside the computer. We have those memories that are found on the motherboard. I remember Mr. Barasa mentioning about cache memory. Cache or cache. This is a memory that's located next to the CPU. It acts as a buffer between the CPU and the RAM. So, because, okay, let me just share this. Let me just share this slide. Where is it? Let me just share this one as we wind up. So we have the cache memory. Because of the increasing technology, engineers wanted to find out how to make a computer to be very fast. And there was a bottleneck. There was a bottleneck when it came to fetching data. They realized that a computer took good time to read or to transfer data from RAM to the CPU. So they came up with an innovation and they introduced the cache memory. So cache memory usually works as a buffer between the CPU and the main memory. Okay, so it used to hold frequently accessed data and programs by the CPU. Okay, so instead of the CPU fetching Yeah, I think we can continue. Can continue with our lesson. Sorry for. I think it's good also to have some break. Oh, Nicolada. So, Nicolada. Nicolada sana. So, let us continue. Thank you for being that concerned. Okay, I think my data has not been lost when the power went off. Let me check. No, when the power goes off and all your data is lost, then yeah, I think we are talking about cache memory. So as we have said, you see, it takes time for CPU to fetch data from RAM and process it. So manufacturers came up with an invention of introducing the cache memory in a computer that's very fast. So the cache memory acts as a buffer between the CPU and the main memory. So it's used to hold those frequently used data and programs by the CPU. So cache is faster than the main memory, consumes less time compared to the main memory. It stores programs that can be executed within a short period of time, and also it stores data for temporary use. So it disadvantage that it has limited capacity, and it's expensive. It's a bit expensive. And also we have been able to cover those units of storage. We have the smallest unit is a bit. A bit is 0 and 1. I think we shall be able to have a look at the bits. We shall be converting. We shall be able to understand how a computer operates. Okay, binary, bits. Okay, decimal, octadecimal, hexadecimal. We shall be able to do those conversions. Yeah, we are moving there. We shall know. We shall be able to think like a computer. So a computer usually works with bits. Bits. So a computer only understands binary language. That's zeros and one. Then 8 bits forms 1 byte. 4 bits form 1 nibble. Then you have the kilobytes, megabytes, gigabytes, terabyte, petabyte, exabyte, zettabyte, yottabyte. Yeah. So that is you can screenshot that. Yeah. Screenshot that. Ndio ukienda Christmas naambia unajua mimi sasa hivi niko na 10 terabytes. Kuna simu yangu ni 10, laptop yangu ni 1 terabyte. Hiyo mtu akisikia terabyte na yeah, terabyte. Characteristics of the main memory, they are semiconductor, they are volatile. That is power data is lost when the power is switched off. The working memory faster than the secondary memory, and a computer cannot run without the primary memory. Okay, then secondary memory, the magnetic or optical, although we have the SSD, which is the semiconductor memory. So secondary memory is non-volatile, means that when the power is lost, all your content will be retained, will be saved. So data is permanently stored. It's used to store data in your computer, and a computer may run without secondary memory. Okay, to some extent, it depends. So it's slower than the primary. I think you are noting down. You're noting down these points, or you are just watching. You're just watching your phone. Unajua, some of you just watch this lesson kama mna watch game ya Liverpool na Arsenal. Una just watch after this lesson is over, then your memory will be lost. Now, if you attend this lesson by watching, it means that you are storing your data in a primary memory. So once the class is over, it's like the power will be lost, and you'll not be able to differentiate between RAM and ROM. So I bet you have somewhere to write down. I think this is just a repetition of RAM and ROM. Yeah, I think we have covered that. Can you write this one? Write down this. Write down this. Itakuja kwa exam. Differentiate between RAM and ROM, 10 marks. Andika hii chini bana, andika hii chini ama screenshot. Kama una kalamu, just screenshot this. Andika chini. You have some of you have smartphone, but you don't know how to screenshot. Write that down. I think I'm just giving you like 2 minutes to note down difference between RAM and ROM as we now go and do something else. I think you have written that. I think you have written that. You can screenshot that, or I will share this slide. I think I will upload these slides on the e-learning. Yeah, I will. I think we can cover this one. It's very important. So I remember one day we were mentioning about yeah, I will share this on the e-learning. I'll upload them. Unaona watu wanafunzana ku screenshot. Oh. Oh. Mwingine anapiga simu kofi kwa screen. Okay. Sawa. Screenshot pia hii ina depend na model gani, ina depend simu yako inatumia BIOS gani. Okay? BIOS linasema hii ku screenshot unafinya button gani na gani. Kuna zingine iko na hiyo button ya kufinya screenshot. Kama yangu nafinya power button na volume ya reduce, volume ya minus, okay? Nikifinya hii fingerprint also works as a power button. Nikifinya hii fingerprint na minus ina screenshot. Ama naweza nika-reset nikipitisha mkono mbele hivi ina screenshot. Na depend unatumia simu gani. Depends on the BIOS or it dictates the basic input and output functionality of it. So between CPU, memory, input and output, there are some buses. For example, what's a bus? A bus is a group of wires or parts that are used to connect main parts of a computer system. Okay, so on the motherboard, you see the CPU, memory, all of them are found on the motherboard or on the circuit. So there's a pathway, electronic pathway, that data is transferred from the CPU, the memory, the cache, the ROM, the hard disks, the display, the mouse. So that path where data travels for these main parts of the computer is called a bus. So we have how many types of bus? We have the system bus, control bus. Hizi vitu zitakuja kwa mtihani. Penda usipopenda itakuja. Control bus, address bus, data bus, system bus. Screenshot hii kitu revise. So system bus is used to transfer data and instructions between the various components. Transfer data and instructions. Data and instructions, system bus. Data bus, as its name suggests, is the part of the system bus. So system bus is an overview, isn't it? So inside from the system bus, we have control bus, address bus, and data bus. So data bus is used to carry data between these main components, the computer. Then the bus that's used to carry instructions. You see, instructions are used to control the operation of a computer. So the bus that is used to carry instructions is called the control bus. Then we have realized that when data is stored on a computer, is usually given an address. Okay, a computer can easily locate your data because when you save a document, then that document is added, is given an address so that the system can access that data. just like a table of content, okay? Just like a table of content. Okay, ukienda kuchukua kitabu, just go and take a textbook in the library. You see it will have a table of content. So if you want to read a particular chapter, table of contents tells you that this chapter is located in a specific page. So that's how the computer works. So we have address bus that usually carries the memory address. So every data that's stored on a computer is given a memory address. So if you want to play a song, okay? If you want to play a song on your smartphone, you search that song on the playlist, and the computer can easily locate that song among the 1,000 songs that you have by use of the memory address. We have input and output bus that controls the connected input and output units. When you write your assignment, okay, on your phone, you see some of you are doing assignment on your phones, then you want to access that assignment. So that assignment is given an address so that your system knows at which location is your assignment found on the downloads, on the documents, on the music folder, on the memory card. So there's an address that is given to that file for you to be easily get that. I think that's what we have covered as far as memory is concerned. Let me just check something briefly. We have a look at the system software. So when you go to the e-learning, you see these notes there. I will post these notes on the e-learning. And also topic 4 is open. Topic 4 is about computer software. Maybe I can just have an overview of the computer software. Computer software. If you want to talk, you raise up your hand. You want to talk, you raise up your hand. I unmute you. Mimi nimeongea sana. I have talked for the last 1 hour. Nataka pia nimuongee. Just say something about computer memory or ask a question. Ibrahim Chumbe. Ibrahim Chumbe, unmute you. Noel Nyongesa. Unmute Noel. Have allowed you to unmute. Joel Ngombe. Yes.
Yes, thank you. Hello, good morning, everybody. I'm asking, when you're giving out the difference between the ROM and RAM, do we give differences based on definitions or their working or how they work? Or how do you go about giving a difference between ROM and RAM? Thank you.
Yeah, that's a good question. If you are defining, do you define depending on the, I think define depending on the characteristics. Faith Wanjala, you define depending on the characteristics. Faith Wanjala, Noel Nyongesa. Sasa una mute tena. I have unmuted you, then you mute. So you are,
Okay.
yes.
My question is, when you are told to write the differences between RAM and ROM,
Do we use the column or we use whereas and while?
I think the columns sounds better. If you use the columns, makes your work neat.
Thank you.
Yes. Any other questions? So when you're differentiating between RAM and ROM, you better go to their characteristics. You better go to the characteristics. What differentiates between Daniel, Taiwa, want to speak? Daniel, Taiwa, you want to speak?
Yes. My question is, if you are told to state the types of bus,
Yes.
do you give with their function or you just state and leave it alone like that?
So it doesn't cost to give you a I just explain it to assure. You know, if they ask you, can you explain what a table is? Then you mention a table, then you give the functionalities of a chair. So unless if you are sure what you are defining is okay, but you can list, then you give wrong definition of which can attract a penalty. So if you are sure, you can as well explain briefly. So huyu Brian Ochango anafanya nini kwa screen? Brian, stop doing whatever you are doing. Brian, stop doing what you are doing. Okay, let me enable that. What is that? No, let me just stop whatever this guy is doing on the screen. So some of you are watching. Some of you are so stubborn. Yeah, so we wanted to have briefly, I think I will take us not more than 40 minutes to discuss about computer software. Yeah, we are going to have computer software. So through the charts, what's a software? Let us discuss what is software. What's a software? You can post that question through the chat. What's a software? Maybe through the chat. Gen Z wanasumbua sana. What's a computer software? Set of instructions, set of instructions, set of instructions, set of instructions. Yeah. Set of instructions. Yeah, you are right. So through the charts, you can get the definition of the computer software. Through the charts, you can get the definition of the computer software. Through the charts, you can get the definition of the software. Through the charts, you can get the definition of a computer software. So you can say a computer software, a set is a program. Software is a program or set of instructions that process the hardware to function in a desired way. We can define a set of. So, what's a program? Maybe if I can ask, what is a program? I'm just going through the charts again. Yeah, I think you should discuss categories of computer softwares. So we have different categories of computer softwares. We have the system software. We usually call it the operating system. Call it the operating system. Have application software. Okay, that's 6. We just make it this bigger so that we are taking notes. Then we have utility programs. Then we have what's called translators, compilers. Yeah. So as we have discussed, let me just check those guys who are on YouTube, first of all. Let me just check those guys who are on YouTube. I'm just checking those who are on YouTube. Yeah, then we have also interpreters. Shall we have a look at this? So we have said that a software is a program or a set of instructions that causes the hardware to function in a desired way. So computer systems made up of two parts: the hardware that you can see and the software that you cannot see, that you can see its effect. So for a computer to work, it needs software. So apart from those hardware that you have mentioned, the input devices, the CPU, RAM, ROM, hard disks, motherboard, speakers, microphone. So we need some set of instructions that controls how the hardware operates. Okay, the CPU needs instructions to control how it operates. That's why we have the computer software that comes in place. So we can start with the operating system or the system software. So the operating system, like your phone, you are using Android. Android is the operating system that operates the functionality of your phone. For those who are using computers, you see a computer comes with Windows. Okay, Windows. We started with the Windows XP. Okay, we moved to Windows 7, Windows 8, Windows 10, Windows 11. We have Linux, we have Ubuntu, have Apple. Okay, so those are some of the software that needs to be installed to manage the resources for computer systems. So a system software or an operating system is a software that manages the resources of a computer system. So it manages, we just write, manages resources of a computer system. It also acts as an interface, acts as an interface between the hardware, and the user programs. And facilitates the execution of programs. So what I mean is that without the operating system, you cannot use your computer. Without Android on your phone, then your phone is just a hardware, a useless hardware that you cannot interact. So when you are powering on a computer, we say that we have BIOS that checks. If everything is okay, then it hands over to the operating system. So it's the operating system now allow you to use the keyboard. Okay, it's the operating systems that controls the display on your screen. The operating system controls your mouse, your speakers, if your computer is not producing sound. okay, the microphone, everything that give out or maybe gives in the computer system, that lies with the operating system. So it provides, it's a middleman. Okay, an operating system is a middleman between the hardware, the computer, and you as the user. So without the operating system, it becomes very hard. Not even very hard, it becomes impossible for one to use the computer. So when you buy a computer that does not have operating system, you power in, you power it on, the computer will tell you operating system is not found, and it will shut down because it's a useless hardware. So the operating system acts as an interface. It controls everything inside the computer. The sound that you are seeing, the screen that you are seeing, the interface is being displayed by the operating system. The sound that you are hearing, if you are not getting me, then it means that it's an issue with the settings of your operating system. Also, we have said it also acts as an interface between the user programs. Okay, it means for you to install any application, first there must be an operating system. For you to install that WPS, there must be Android installed. For you to install Zoom, there must be an operating system that provides an interface for that. And how can we categorize operating system? How can we categorize? How can we categorize operating systems? So we can categorize operating system or system softwares depending on the interface. Okay. Like we have old computers, the first generation, the second generations. These computers were being operated by commands. Okay, you see, like the first generation, the mouse and keyboard were not introduced. Even in the second generation, you see that there were punched cards that the computer could be able to understand those commands by the use of the punched cards. So we have those computers that only use characters. Okay, call them character user interface. So it means these computers, for a computer to, these computers were not using keyboards and mouse. So for you to copy, for you to save, for you to do something, you need to write a command, copy, save. So they were not using graphics. Then there was an introduction of computers that use graphics. Okay. This was brought by the Windows. So we call them as a graphical user interface. Let me just label this. So those are two types of operating system depending on the interface. So we have those that use character user interface, where you need to type in for you to operate the computer. Then we have those computers that use graphical user interface, where there's a desktop, there was some WIM, okay? They use WIM. They use WIM, Windows, icons, and whatever to execute the command. Then we can also classify operating systems depending on how many users can it support at a time. Okay, we have computers that allow single user. Okay, have computers that support multiple users. So we have operating system that supports single user. Okay, then have operating system that supports multi users. Like examples, you can many users can log into the same interface at the same time. So we have a operating system that supports single user. Then we have those that support Okay, sorry about that. Maybe I can, there's a problem with my network. Okay. There was a problem with my operating system. It was not capturing the voice. So, okay, I can repeat and say the function of the operating system includes job and process scheduling, where it loads the programs to the memory and allows them to run in the CPU. So in a nutshell, you can say the operating system now controls how the CPU, it feeds the CPU with data and instructions. That's why we say jobs and process scheduling. And also we have said that operating systems acts as an interface between the user and the computer. So it provides an interface, the screen that you are seeing, the keyboard, the mouse, the camera, yeah, all of it, the function of the computer system that controls all this and enables you to communicate with the computer. It also controls the input and output, the keyboard, mouse, speakers, microphone, scanners. So it enables you to input, and it also provides the feedback as an output mechanism to the user. So sometimes when a computer is experiencing an error, it's running a program and that program is producing an error. This brings about an interrupt. So if there is a conflict of the resources in a computer, the operating system usually resolves those conflicts so that the computer works well without hanging, probably without producing much error. So it produces, or maybe it works on error handling when programs are running in the computer system. So apart from that, also it provides security. The operating systems allow you to add a screen lock, a password, a fingerprint, biometric on your phone. So it provides those security features. It provides those security features on your phone. It can enable you to add passwords to the data, to encrypt data on your computer, and to store data. So it knows where data is stored on your computer, on your hard disk. It enables you to rename a file, to move a file from one location to another. It can tell you if your memory is full, if your memory is not enough, if there's issue with your file. That's the function of the operating system. So I want you to have a look at your free time. We shall discuss. I want you to write down this. The functions of these application softwares. Using examples. Using example. Explain the functions of the following software. So I'm giving this as a homework. Giving you this as a homework. Go and work on it. Using examples, explain the function of the following software. in a computer system. Write that down. Write that down. Let us have a look at the LMS. Last week you did a cut. Let us just have a look of what you did. Last week, okay, I'm looking at your comments. I'm looking at your comments, and you guys, you are funny. Okay, let us go to LMS. We must go to the LMS and check how much we got. Yes, we must go to the LMS so we wind up. We must go to the LMS, guys. Let's go to the LMS. So there's a cut that you did. And you did, we can just have a look at what you did. Yeah. Here's a cut that you did. 4,039. 4,039 students did that cut. We can check on the performance. I think there's a graph. There's a graph somewhere. Let me just check on the graph. Hopefully the system will give me the summary. The system, yeah. Don't know why it's not giving me the summary. So, okay, it's giving me an average. Let me give it time, Lord. Let me give it time to load. 4,000 is a very big number, so it's loading. So average was 18. 18 point what? Let me check. 18 was the average score. Yeah, 18.4. 18.4 was an average score. That was out of 30. And here's the summary. I don't know. Some of you are testing. You are not sure if you are doing the cut or not. And if the cut has indicated is 30 minutes, okay? The cut indicated that it's 30 minutes. You log in, instead of doing the cut, you start doing your own things. The system logs you out. Okay, some of you are lucky you came, we reset for you, again, you did the cut. And we are here to support you. In case of any challenge, our office is very open. You don't even need to knock on the door. You just come, we assist you. So for those who are stuck, you came, we assisted you, you did the cut very well. Even we were so ignorant such that we even give you the Wi-Fi. You connected to the Wi-Fi. Even some of you, we gave you our laptops to use it to do the cut. As you can see, this is the performance. Majority scored between 18 to 20. So 747 students scored between 18, 20. Let me start from this one. I don't want to go through these ones. These ones are jokers. Let me start from this one who scored between 10 to 12, 159. Between 12 to 14, 271. Between 14 to 16, 400. Between 16 to 18, 500 students, almost 600. Between 18 to 20, 747. So 747 students scored between 18 to 20 marks. Between 20 to 22, 697 scored between 20 to 22. Between 22 to 24, we had 600 students, 607 who scored between 22 to 24. Between 24 to 26, we had 300 students who scored between 24 to 26. Then finally, the best, 26 and 28, we had 33 students who scored between 26 to 28 out of the possible 30 marks. So go and check, go on the portal. The good thing, the system shows you how much have you scored. Okay? The good thing, the system shows you. I don't need to post this one. I need to post this one on your WhatsApp. It will be, okay. I don't need to post this on WhatsApp. Just go to the LMS, go where the cut is, and you will see how much you have garnered, how much you have gained on that cut. This one will make you be serious, make you try again later with the other cuts that will be coming. Also, we can check on the progress. You can check on the progress. I usually go to the leaderboard where I can see the most hardworking students. Let me start with page 1. The most active member, we have Masafu Simiu, Stephen Ouma, Muse Wamalwa, Wehomba Wafula, Michael Waswa, Faith Munache, Kiprotich Rodney, Godwin Kiprotich, Duncan Kiputo, Oundo Fabian, Dominic Kirwa, Kiptum Cosmas, Wangila Enoch, Tala Magdalene, Dixon, Alex, Momalwa Philip, Ajoa, Ouma, Pascal, Adiambo Oko, Kiplimo Ndiwa, Wahungu, McDonald Wechuli. So these are some of the most active. As we have said, they have 10 points. You see, they have 10 points. Page 2, let me see if page 2 also has 10 points. Okay, the best with 10 points, we have Awino Sarah Makri. These are the best performing students on the e-learning portal. So if you want me to mention you next lesson, make sure you are having 10 points. And you can see here, like me, I have 7 points because I'm not a student. But if I was a student, I could be at top 10. Let me go and have a look at those who I don't know what they are doing. They have 1 point. They have 1 point, means they have not done a lot in the LMS. The likes of Sirima Samuel, Bukwana Elijah, Kalenda Simiyu, Havali Betty, Kennedy Omonde, Akinyi Nancy, Chepchumba, Tabitha Area, Utamuka Benson, Kiprotich Kelvin, Nancha Silas, Dennis Koskei, Alex Siongo, Mogire Ogach, Victor Cheruyot, Ayan Wekesa, Ann Boriso, Dennis Lutan, Bunde, Obola Samuel, Nandako Juma, the likes of Ochako Fred, Waswa Wilkista, Duncan Ademba. So these guys, they have 1 point. They are like a particular team on the EPL. They have 1 point. And these points are earned when you are accessing the resources on this course. You get, the system awards you these points when you are accessing, when you are using KUC 1120. You read resources, you do whatever is there, then the system. I want to see the points. I want to let me make this one, this homework that I have given you I want to make it as a discussion forum, and I'll be going through that discussion forum. So as we said, lesson 4 is open. Have you seen lesson 4 on the e-learning? Lesson 4, basic computer hardware. The notes are there. Okay. What I'm going to do, I'm going to build to come up with a discussion forum. Where is it? Okay. I want to come up with a discussion forum so that you can post there your homework and your colleagues can be able to critique. Let me check. Where is it? Where is it? Or it's loading. Let me give it time. Okay, lesson 4 is open. Basic computer software. Go and read the notes. The notes are there. The notes are there. The notes are there. Lesson 4. Topic 4. Topic 4 is open. Topic 4 is open. Let me hide this one. I want to create a discussion forum out of this. Just hold on. If you want to talk, raise up your hand. I'm winding up so that you can go to the LMS for the remaining 40 minutes. Go to the LMS, do the necessary. Go to the e-learning. Okay, if you have raised up a hand, I unmute you so that you talk.
Thank you, sir.
Yes.
Hope you are getting me clearly.
Yes.
My question is,
yes,
on the topic of computer hardware.
Yes.
So when you are writing an exam on the types of ROM, read-only memory, are you supposed to give the short form or write it in full? The PROM, the EPROM, and the EEPROM.
Yeah, you should bring the context, okay? You should bring the context.
Yes.
Should bring the context because PROM might mean something different in a different context. So you write in full.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Yes, yes. Ruth, you want to talk? Joel or Plan?
Okay, thank you, sir.
So there will be a discussion forum. I'm going to edit this forum so that you work on this. You work on this task. There's a task that I have given you. Yes, there's this task that I have given you. Go work on this task. Then go and post it on a discussion forum on the LMS. So you can call it.
Okay, thank you, sir. Joel Wafla. Hope you are getting me clear. Correct. My question is on the types of form that is read-only memory. Are you supposed to read the types on the short form or in the long form?